everybody, and welcome to episode number 4 of Gap with Garima. I didn't get enough feedback from y'all last time about what you guys thought about our intro music. I mean, do you like it? Do you not like it? I'm still wondering. I think the jury's still out, and I can't tell you how much it makes me laugh every time I hear it. So today we're talking about how to stay close while leading from afar. And this topic is actually really, really, really important to me because I really enjoy people, and it's been weird, right? Not having that. Hi, Sanket. Thanks for joining. But it's been weird not having that day-to-day interaction. And now, mind you, I've always kind of worked remotely. In most of my positions, I've always traveled a whole lot, but at least I would always have that ability to travel and meet the team and, hang out and do all of those things that get you closer to everybody around you and really build that culture. So it's been really strange to have everybody completely remote and not be able to build culture in the way that I normally do. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So the first thing I want to ask is, what is culture, right? Like what is culture? And culture, a lot of times we tend to think that team's culture is about the ping pong tables and about the happy hours. And like at my last company, we used to do these like golf outings, and that was a big part of our culture. But that isn't the actual culture. It's a part of culture, but ping pong tables, water coolers, all the rest of it, that's not the actual culture of an organization. Culture, based upon the dictionary definition, is a way of life. It's how we do things. It's how we live. It's how we play. It's how we talk. It's how we interact. It's a total and complete way of life. So how do we get this fantastic culture and ensure that people are going in the same direction and having a good time and being passionate and really getting those things fulfilled within them personally, not just professionally, in a remote culture? Like, how do you do that? So, I'll give you some examples here at Billergini. When we first started this whole everybody working remote, it was a little challenging. It was a little bit like, we're like, I don't know what to do. We're not getting to talk to people as much face to face, and how do we handle this? So we did a lot of kind of funny things. The first one, though, is we started having a team meeting every Monday morning. And it sounds silly and super basic, but just having everybody in the company turn on their cameras and be there and be live for an employee meeting every single Monday, no matter what, is super helpful. And we got to feel like we were all in the same room. And the funny thing is that even when we had our offices open, we weren't doing that. So it's actually interesting because we feel like we've gotten closer, even though we're working remote, because of things like this, right? So we have these times where we all come together on Monday mornings and we talk about everything. But one of the most important things we talk about is our mission and our vision. So how do you win and lose together? Because, if you think about any team, any organization, whether it's an Olympic team, a professional team, or anything else, you have to be sharing the same goal. And that's what builds that culture. Most of my life, I've been on various types of competitive teams, whether it be a dance team or a debate team or something like that. You really want to win and lose as a team, right? Like, you really want to be going and rowing towards the same thing, because if you're not, there's always usually that one person maybe who isn't kind of rowing along with everybody. You're like, man, that person kind of sucks. But if everybody on the team is super excited and going towards that win, it builds this team culture that you can't replicate. How many of you have ever been on like a team in high school or college, and you're going to go to the championships, or you're going to regionals, or you're doing whatever, and those 2 or 3 days, that intensity where you're all practicing really, really hard and you're grinding it out and you're exhausted, but man, you're just working so hard together. If you could bottle that energy and that team culture, that's what you want in your professional organization. And if you guys think about those times, even though you only compete for a day or two versus a season that's 3 or 4 or 5 months, those 1 or 2 days are probably what you remember the most, right? Like for me, I remember going to dance competitions and the time that we were all getting dressed together and about to go on stage, and oh my God, someone's piece of jewelry broke, or, oh my gosh, someone forgot their leggings, and just coming together as a team to make sure that we all performed at our best. I remember those moments and those laughs and everything that came along with that more than anything else in those experiences. And that's so crazy because it was probably only 10% of what we did together, but you have to be able to learn to win and lose as a team. So one of the things that we do on these Monday mornings is we set a really clear goal, and everybody shares that same goal and that same idea of winning. So our goal is we're going to reach a certain number of accounts by this time, and we're going to reach a certain number of accounts by that time. And we're also going to launch specific partnerships in a very thought out way. And every single person on the team knows it and is working towards it. And that builds culture better than anything else. So that's important. And also, this is another one that we just didn't do a lot of it. Even in an office, you take it for granted. You see each other every day. You kind of take it for granted. Everybody's working hard, everybody's doing stuff, but you're not really talking about your goals. You're just working, and you go to the water cooler and you talk about the weather and, how someone did the day before, but you didn't really talk about what the goals are and how you guys are going to get there. So aligning around those wins and losses, setting those clear goals helps with that whole way of life. And then the next one is encouraging and engaging in personal connection. So it's really easy to get on a Zoom call or a Skype or a Teams or whatever else you're using and just get right into business, right? You have a topic and you're talking about, like in this case, we're talking about how to have better communication. So it's really easy to just get into it and that's all you're talking about. You're not thinking about, hey, but how are you? And tell me about you as a person. Also, it's too easy in our digital world to just shoot an email, shoot and text, put it on a chat. How much are you picking up the phone and calling? How much? And I don't mean an actual phone. I don't even have a phone. And I'm not talking about cell phone. I mean, I don't mean like a corded phone somewhere that you're dialing someone's extension, but however you're making that interaction, even if it's through Teams or Zoom or whatever, how often are you just connecting to connect, to get to know someone, or to shoot the shit, or to have a fun conversation? How well do you know the people that you work with? Is it just like the basics about them, or did you have a conversation about how their weekend was and what they did and if they enjoyed it and what makes them tick and why they're excited to be here? And if you're not investing that time in their personal life, why do they care about your professional life? So being not just doing it yourself, like those personal meetings, but telling your team to do it amongst each other. So like we did this great competition, at least I thought it was great, but I don't know what our team thinks. So we did this great competition, for 4 weeks actually, where we took everybody in our company and we split them up into cross-functional teams. So it was people who never worked together before and teams of 2 and 3 people, and they had to teach the rest of the company something. And it wasn't necessarily work related, it could be anything, but they had to come together and they had to teach the rest of the company something. It could be, how to do yoga in the office or how to clear your brain. It could be anything. So we said the only parameters are it needs to be fun, it needs to be educational, and every single person on the team needs to work together to do this. And it was so interesting, the topics that everybody chose, because it was all over the place. It was things from how to use TikTok down to how to code. We had someone who talked about origami, and it's kind of everywhere. Hi, Danny. Hi, Praveen. Thanks for joining. But it's so funny that you see these. Hi, Nathan. Well, it's just funny, though, because they all taught us these crazy things that we wouldn't have known. But it wasn't just about the time that they spent teaching us. It was actually that fun exercise that they got to work together on. And it was so fun that different people who never interacted got to know each other, got to work as a team. So it doesn't just need to be about work, 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 work. Oh my God, we have like these blinders on. You have to look at every single person as an individual, as a holistic being. And what do they like? What motivates them? What's exciting to them? And how do you make sure that they're achieving those goals even in a remote environment? We had one of our teams that created $100 bills. And it's just such a fun thing. I mean, they did origami with them, which was really fun, but it's totally random. It has absolutely nothing to do with what we do. It doesn't have to do with accounts receivable automation, but it was a great team effort and we really enjoyed it. And we all learned together. So we have in memory. Another one that we did, and if you haven't seen it, please make sure you do, but we created a music video to Bill or Genie in the Bottle. We wrote our own lyrics, we danced, we sang. If you have seen our video, you know that we're not great at either of those things, but we had a lot of fun. And thank you, Danny. I'm glad that you liked our video, but those are fun things that you can do as a team. And I know it sounds silly, but don't be afraid to have fun. And that is my most important message of all of this. How do you really lead from afar and make sure that you're still building personal engagement, personal connections, and have a team that's working together? Not just are you setting the right goals and you are all rowing for the same wins and losses, but you have to have fun. You have to be loving everything that you do, and you have to be just having fun. So, I mean, my number one thing for all of you is just remember to have fun and think about the things that are fun for you. If it's fun for you to play a game, then play a game with your team. If it's fun for you to talk, just have a chat and gab, do that. If it's fun for you to do a wine tasting, then do that with your team. Have a Zoom call, do a wine tasting. It doesn't matter. Culture is not just about, like I said at the beginning, ping pong tables and happy hours. It's so much more. It's how you live your life in your company. And I will say that I'm really proud to say, actually, that I think that at Bill or Genie, we've probably done a better job of culture and building our team morale right now during the pandemic, because we're so hyper focused on that remote management, remote leading, that we've done a better job, and we've actually done things that we should have been doing all along. And so that's really cool. And I'm glad to see that we've been able to find those things, and I'm excited to use them when we're not all remote, when we are in the office, and continuing these Monday meetings and then getting to add those other pieces of culture, getting to have the happy hours, getting to play on a ping pong table. I mean, that's all great too, but you need those foundations. So I really hope that helped. Thanks, Adrian. I'm glad that you said it helped. I hope that it helps everybody else. And if you guys, does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, anything? All right, well, if not, no problem. Super simple today. Just make sure you have fun, guys, and make sure you're enjoying leading from afar. Thanks, bye.